However, for me, going out of my way to have that procedure when my testicles can just bless me with that on a daily basis, I feel like that's the better choice. And
the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.
Greetings, my fellow warriors. It's your boy Meckanimal, and today I'm going to respond to a response to the response of the video of ALPHADESTINY toward Coach Greg. All right, it sounds complicated, but that's let me give you the chronology of the story. Coach Greg made a video about natural versus about the take of ALPHADESTINY, who we all know, or we all believe, at least I believe, he's a natural athlete. And Coach Greg kind of respond to one of his video, you know, where he was advocating the benefits of staying natural. Obviously, Coach Greg, being enhanced athlete, will give his opinion, and will tend to be evidently biased in his opinion, because he's no longer a natural, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, it's an interesting back and forth between both of them, and I follow both of them, watch both of them, have some respect for both of them. And because I am a lifetime natural, I'm going to side with ALPHADESTINY, and that's not to take away the fact that Greg has some really good advice that he gives, and even though he might tend to claim that he's not asking or suggesting people to break away from the natural path, the fact that he is pro enhancement will clearly show that he has, you know, he will be subconsciously, you know, giving the, how should I put it, he will have a tendency to be a little to be a little to have much of ease, not to be strict about deterring a newbie from getting on gear, if you see what I'm saying. I don't want to waste your time, but yeah, this is the perspective that I'm coming from. Because he's doing it, he's not gonna find a big issue having somebody who want to try, go for it. Yeah, but me being a natural, I'm gonna have a tendency to have to deter people from getting on it, because I actually don't really see the benefit of it unless you are sick and you know, and you are prescribed something like that, you know, testosterone replacement, to be able to function properly. And that's just me. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So let's get back to the video, and it's gonna be interesting. Let's see the response of Greg Doucette to ALPHADESTINY response, and let's see what he is talking about.
Not what strength numbers can you expect, how much muscle can you put on. We're gonna find out. What do I think of his response? Did he make any sense? Any valid points? Any invalid points? Well, let's not waste any time. Let's see and find out.
So fellow Canadian Greg Doucette made a video about me. So I checked it out, and I gotta say, really enjoyed the video. It was professional, respectful, and did not have ad hominem attacks, which is so common among other fitness influencers.
And to all the haters of mosquitoes out there, we're just going back and forth. We're having a discussion. I'm not attacking him as a person. I'm attacking what he's saying. I don't dislike him as a person. Think of it. I did a video about him. Notice I don't do videos about other morons because they're morons. And I don't need to feed the mosquitoes. He's not a mosquito. And before I get into this, it's important to understand he's a natural athlete. He's natural, 100% natural. I totally believe that. And he wants you to be natural. He's highly motivated to try to convince you to stay natural. Just because I've taken PDs, I'm not trying to promote them. I'm not trying to tell you to take them. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Okay. When I tell you something, do they work? I say, yeah, heck yeah, they work. But I tell you exactly how well they work. I'm not going to exaggerate them. Not going to underreport the gains. I'm going to give you actual information of what I truly believe.
Exactly, Greg. Most lifters don't look good, but we have to ask why. How come the majority of YouTube fitness is full of novice lifters?
Sorry, I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Of course, you're going to want to side with Alpha Destiny. You want to think, hey, no matter what your genetics are, if you train hard and put in the work and eat proper and follow the right plan, you can do it.
No, actually, that's not what Alpha Destiny is saying. Alpha Destiny is saying that provided that you stick to the right process and you are patient enough, you will fulfill your natural limits. Now, what's the natural limit? Is the natural limit of the worst individual, or the natural limit of the individual with the worst genetic. Is the maximal potentials as bad as Greg seems to claim? That's the question. I don't think so, because it might not look like Captain America, it might not look like me, it might not look like Alpha Destiny, but I believe that every single individual, besides the extreme hard gainers with a really minimal part of the population, I'd like to say, beside those people, anybody with the proper patience and and protocol should be able to reach a pretty substantial level of performance and physique. Reason why I like people to focus more on the performance than the physique, in an attempt not to look or end up feeling and behaving like a depressed beauty pageant. So yeah, that's beside the point, but you get to have the picture of what I want to portray. No, Alex didn't actually say that you're going to look like Mr. Olympia, being patient. You see, that's the bias that I'm saying that Greg has. Greg has this bias that everybody wants to be huge, everybody wants to look like some elite beefy person, when actually people just want to look good. And even if they fail to reach that level, a natural level like mine, it's safe to assume that they can achieve a physique that when somebody look at you, will be able to know that actually this person is lifting. And I have a clients like that as well that follow meticulously. I would say my hardest up-to-date work. Clients I've trained for about 2 years. You know, unfortunately, we've stopped right before COVID. But he is really dedicated. He does everything to the letter. But does he look like me? No. When you look at him, you'll be able to tell that he lifts. Performance top notch. You know, that's just to tell you that, you know, genes plays a plays a real important part in defining your physique, outcome, performance as well. So many things out there. And yeah, so let's get back to what he's saying. This is gonna be a long video because I have so much to say on each on each part.
You can achieve elite standards in powerlifting, and you can get a shredded or amazing physique. You can look like Captain America, Superman, or Thor. Natural. Most people, if they just train long enough and smart enough. No, most people, even with PDs, will not look like Captain America, Superman, or Thor. They're drawn up.
Why do they have to look like Captain America, Superman, or Thor? And even the worst people with PEDs. I mean, the worst genetic people with PEDs, they don't, I mean, if they end up not looking like Captain America, what are they looking like? Man, coach, let us know. Show us what do those people look like. I'm sure they're pretty decent, unless they have a crappy training protocol and fail to build like a base as a natural before getting on the source. That's the only explanation that I can see. People with a crappy genetic that have pushed the natural limit to the best they can be. I mean, yeah, I'm sure when they get on the juice, they'll have a pretty decent physique. Prove me wrong, coach.
They're drawn up comic book characters of what we wish we could be if we were just given the best genetics in the world. Maybe we could do that if lightning strike, if we came from another planet, if we had magic mystical superpowers. Think of it, Captain America basically was on PDs. Exactly, that's what happened. And Alpha Destiny, he wants you to believe you can do that natural. He's fighting the good fight. Stay natural. You know you can do it. You can do it. You're amazing. You know, try your best and you'll get there, because I did. And so you probably can too, because, well, my genetics, they're not that amazing. And well, I can do it because, well, I trained properly and ate properly and I did it. I can lift a lot of weight and I look pretty freaking good natural, which he does. He has amazing genetics and he trained hard and smart. And I bet if you look like Alpha Destiny, 99% of you would be happy with that. This is amazing, and I agree. Chances are you can't, though.
Why? Why can't you? You don't have to end up looking like Alpha Destiny. Again, it brings me back to my whole point. What are you going to look like if you actually push your natural limits? That's what it comes down to. I wish we had like a funded project and select a group of people and have them training for the next 3 years and as natural as possible with the same protocol, and see at the end of that what's the percentage of that pool that end up, you know, developing a pretty decent physique. That's just some pure assumption. Some speculation that Coach Greg is putting out there. He's guessing that, yeah, most people would just not get to that level, because I don't see, I mean, to a decent level, because I don't see why most people wouldn't get to a decent level. And by decent level, I mean when you see somebody, you can clearly say that he's lifting. You don't have to be amazingly Hulklish and all this thing, because if we follow his logic, he's just saying that why not get on PEDs, because naturally you will not get there anyway. And if you yourself, you tell me that with the worst genetic, even with PED, you're still not gonna get there. So why get on PEDs if you're still not gonna get there? I mean, it's kind of confusing. Why not just stay natural and just get on PEDs when you need to, when you feel the need? And that's from the natural individual perspective. And again, he's in his own bubble, his own bias, and all in the while telling Alpha Destiny that he is biased. He himself is being biased. It's interesting. We all live in bubbles, man.
Some of you can, the top tier genetics of you who are natural, training hard, can look like this. And some even better. Chris Bumstead did it. Quinton Beast Mode. All these guys with the best genetics, they can do it. I did it. I looked amazing natural. Then I took PDs and looked even more amazing. I know some of you can do it, but I'm talking to the majority.
Even more amazing is subjective, right? Not disrespect to Coach Greg, but I'm not aspiring to have his physique, for example. I train for performance. I do a lot of gymnastic work. So I need to stay as athletic and limber as possible while performing. one of the reasons why I feel like nature does things right. You are being capped by a maximal amount of muscle you can build to still remain, you know, healthy, right, and functional. So if through the natural evolution the body thought that it was efficient for us to reach and like an immense phenomenal amount of weight or muscle, I feel like we wouldn't have that limitation that we have to the point of needing PEDs to unlock that next level potential. So again, I mean, for the sake of bodybuilding, and I know it's a whole it's a whole niche and all this thing, I do watch bodybuilding because it's entertaining and I like to see mostly for the drama of it. I'm guilty of it, but in terms of trying to compete in it and all that, I never really had any aspiration, unless I know 100% chance that there will be some lucrative incentive. But other than that, I'm not really passionate about it, but I do like watching people, you know, bodybuild. So that's that. But I don't aspire to have a huge body, or the physique I have right now is just sufficient for me. If you were to tell me that I reached my maximum all-time potential, I'll be just fine with that. I'll probably be willing to even lose a few more pounds so that I can be more limber, I can backflip higher, you know, so I can increase my power to weight ratio. Sometimes I do wish that, but you know, it just is what it is. But do I have a bad physique? No, you know, and I have to assume that I have a good genetic, you know, I'm blessed with the genes. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know, amazing to more amazing, yeah, I guess in the perspective of a bodybuilder, but in the perspective of the average person, I don't think so.
Majority of the people. That means more than 50%, more than half of you cannot do it. With all the hard work in the world, even with PEDs, you're not going to look amazing. I'm sorry, I'm telling you the truth. I know you want to believe, well, no, if I just took some HRT tests, maybe higher doses, and if that didn't work, I just blast some tren, I probably look like Coach Greg, and if not, probably just settle for Henry Cavill. Just think about it. No, most people, think of it, used to sell the stuff to people, used to, not now, used to, back in the past 10 years ago. Used to sell it. Do you think I know what they look like? And I coached people and I knew they were on PDs and I saw their physiques and their check-ins and how they look. They don't look like ALPHADESTINY. Most people on PDs wish they could look like ALPHADESTINY. They wish they could look like me too, probably some. Oh.
Okay, I'll give it to you. I mean, you have experience in that field, and I have to assume that, you know, you're telling the truth, because I have no reason to believe that you're lying. Yeah, okay, most people on PD don't look like ALPHADESTINY. ALPHADESTINY has a very good physique, so I would say great physique, you know, so maybe those people without with PED, they don't look like Alpha. Maybe get closer to him and we can call them having a good physique. Had those people not been on PED, what would they have? A decent physique? You know, there are levels. Like I said, it's all coming from a skewed definition of amazing physique. Coach Greg, amazing physique.
Oh no, I don't want to look like Chris Bumstead. He's too big. No, I don't want to. Till you get some size, and then your goals, they change real quick. The reason you don't want to look like Chris Bumstead is because it's so far off in the distance of being even remotely possible that you don't...
No, don't say that, Coach. I do not want to look like Chris Bumstead, you know. Again, like I said, you have a skewed definition of amazing. Everybody is in a different bubble. I don't want to look like Chris Bumstead. I don't think Alpha wants to look like Chris Bumstead. However, if you have a bodybuilding aspiration and your goal is to win the Mr. Olympia, of course you're gonna want to look like Bumstead. So Coach Greg has been enhanced for so long that he lost sight. He lost a perspective of what it's like to be natural. That's what it comes down to.
Don't even think about it. Chris Bumstead probably didn't even want to look like Chris Bumstead when he was 16. But then when he was 19, he probably did. And now that he's 25, probably wants to look even better. The dream physique that you have in your mind right now, it will change. The closer you get to that, the more you will want. We are not satisfied. We never get satisfied as society. We always want more. Oh, if I won the lottery.
Yes, we always want more. And I would say when it comes to performance, I want more, you know. But I'm not willing to get on PEDs just because I want more. I want to have a record. I want to prove myself that I can reach the best level that I can reach while staying natural. Would I want 1,000-pound squat? No, it's too far-fetched. I would want a 500 squat, which is very doable. I would want a 600 squat, doable. If I'm not blessed with the genes to get there, I guess I will never get there, which I doubt. I have to believe that provided I focus on it, I dedicate myself, I'll reach that level. Would I ever have an 800 pound squat? Maybe I'm not gifted with the genes or the genetics to achieve that. You see, that's being realistic. Would I beat myself up because I never squatted 800 pounds? No, because there's so many other stuff that I can focus on. I have so many other skills that define me, that I'm happy to, you know, to shape my identity around. And which is why I tell people in general that they should stop obsessing about stuff that they're not necessarily, I mean, they know that they're not gifted at. Trying to find at least one or two other things that you're really good at, that you are chasing while you're chasing that other thing that you are passionate about but that you may not be that gifted at. Because all of us have something that we are really good at. It's just that society unfortunately don't value all the gifts available on earth. Each individual of us belong, I think it's in 20% of I forgot the statistic. I was reading this book called Atomic Habits, where they were describing the way they were giving us the breakdown of the fact that each individual of us is gifted, and more often than not, we tend to wander without figuring out what we are really good at, when actually it's just, I mean, before our eyes. It's just that it happened to be something that's so insignificant to our eyes because society don't value it. So people tend to want to take those popular talents that society value and try to be the best at that, when sometimes you just don't have it. You have to accept it. Genetics is really big part of everything, behavior, personality. But does that mean you shouldn't be pushing to unlock the maximum potential in what you want to do? Heck no. So yeah, and that don't mean you have to be enhanced so you can tweak your, you know, tweak the that potential that Mother Nature didn't give you. Because obviously if you don't have the gift for it, no matter how enhanced you get, you still won't have it. So that's the point, is that, yeah, you don't have to get on PEDs. Again, it's a natural choice. If you want to be the best at what you do, that's a different story. But for the average person, learn to love yourself. I know it's easier said than done when you are gifted with certain things, but the fact that I accidentally stumbled into fitness and became the way I am, and still fail to, you know, to use my gift to flaunt it to the crowd for marketing purpose, it just shows that I don't really care about it, if you see what I'm saying. So yeah, that was maybe digressing, but it's still on topic.
$1 million, I'd be happy. Then you get the $1 million, and a couple months later, you're like, yeah, another million would be freaking fantastic. Remember the series Breaking Bad? Dude's got $100 million in his storage locker. He can't spend that, and he's still hustling, trying to sell more, trying to be the best. You will never be satisfied. You will always want more. If you take PDs now, you're going to want to continue taking PDs. It is not the answer. It's not going to get you the dream physique that you want. However much it helps, you're just going to want more. There is no end to it. There is no satisfaction. You will never be satisfied. So stop thinking that changing your physique to something else is the answer. It's not the answer. And that's the message Alpha Destiny is trying to share. He wants you to realize, just be the best you can be. That's what Coach Greg says. Yes, I say that PDs work, because I'm honest. I'm not going to try to trick you. When I was younger, 30 years ago, when I was a teenager, 30 years ago, I was told, steroids, they don't work. They're going to give you a brain cancer. You're going to die. Lyle Zato. Anyone that uses steroids, they die. And it doesn't even work. If you just work hard, you can do the same thing. You can achieve the same results. You just need to work harder. I was lied to. Soon discovered, wow, I competed against that guy and he looked okay. I beat him. And then a year later, he put on 20 pounds of muscle. I didn't. I put on 5 pounds. Well, why didn't I put on that muscle? And then to find out, yeah, they work. But then guess what? They didn't turn pro. They kept taking steroids. They didn't turn pro. I was natural. I kept training. I got better. Got pretty damn good. Then eventually I took PDs and I turned pro. Why? Because I have better genetics. Not everyone has the genetics to be amazing. We can all be better than we are, but we don't have the genetics to do everything. And let's go.
Again, amazing. Who cares about being amazing? Who cares about being a big clouds? We care about being healthy, muscular, and functional. I know the term functional is being overused and abused in the fitness world, but yeah, I mean functional. Being able to wipe your eyes, for example, and that's not an overreach, because picture this, like few years ago, even within 5 years of training, right, halfway through my journey, I was able to grab my finger. I still have some good flexibility. Most people will not be able to do that, right? But that just getting more muscular limits me. I mean, took away the that flexibility that I had. I'm sure that if I was to work again on it, I'll be able to grab it. But the reality is I never really trained back then the flexibility to be able to grab my finger. So with the same parameter maintained, not training this, this movement, I should still be able to hold it. But guess what? By getting bigger, I lost the ability to hold it. That means lost range of motion in the flexibility. So can you imagine if I was twice the size I am, or become a cloud? That you wonder why some people can wipe their ass. Okay, that's a hyperbole, but still you get the point.
And let's go to the glasses, because I think this applies in this situation. The false consensus effect. The false consensus effect is the tendency people have to overestimate how much other people agree with their own beliefs, behaviors, attitudes, and values. For example, thinking that other people share your opinion on controversial topics. Overestimating the number of people who are similar to you, and believing that the majority of people share your preferences. So because you're natural...
I think, Greg, you fall into that too. You are bewitched by the same effect, the false consensus effect.
You're natural, have friends who are natural, coach people who are natural, see what people who are natural have done. You believe that most naturals can do what you think they can do, like achieving elite standards in powerlifting. For example, let's take the bench press. 181 pounds, elite standard in the bench is 345 pounds with a pause. And I wrote Will Tennyson, who's a Gymshark sponsored athlete. Sponsored by Gymshark. Almost all the Gymshark athletes, they're not natural. Will is. Amazing genetics. You're going to debate me that they're amazing? He beat me in a squat competition.
But remember, you had surgery. You're not fully functional. Of course, he's going to beat you. I doubt that the old Greg with no injury enhanced will be able to stand. Will Tennyson will be able to stand the wrath of your squat back in the day. You are injured, so you're like a wounded lion. You know, it's normal that he loses. Your range of motion is very limited. It must be painful, and yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't think it would be the right comparison.
World record holding powerlifter. He beat me in a squatting competition. He's about 25 years old, been training hard for almost 10 years.
Yeah, again, I mean, Will is a strong man, but you are injured. That's not a comparison that count. I will probably want you to compare him to, I don't know, Larry Wills. Again, yeah, even with the sauce, most people would not be Larry Will. But again, I'm just trying to be funny. But you see what I'm saying?
How much can he bench press? How much can he do? Is he at the elite level? Because let's face it, Will Tennyson has better genetics than the majority of people. He has amazing genetics. Anyone not know Will Tennyson here? Trust me, he's got amazing genetics. Don't try to tell me he doesn't. Just because he's not a pro bodybuilder doesn't mean he doesn't have amazing. How much can he bench? I hit 335 in that video, I think. And he's guessing, but yeah, he did 335. That is not 345, and it was not pause. And Will weighs just over 180 pounds, so in Will Tennyson's weight class, he has not hit elite standards. And ALPHADESTINY saying, well, most people elite level genetics, they could hit those numbers. Yet Will Tennyson didn't. How many of you sitting there weighing about 180 pounds, 181 in fact?
I don't know if Alex said that. Alex said that you can reach an advanced level and possibly elite level if you are gifted. Not that most people will. I doubt you're probably putting word in his mouth. I would like to see the clip where Alex is suggesting that it is the truth that most people will hit the elite level if they train consistently for a long period of time. I'll bet that you can hit an advanced level if you train hard enough, or intermediate. But I doubt most people will just stay beginners if they train long enough. So hitting intermediate or late intermediate is not that bad in the big scheme of things. So again, if you don't aim to reach the elite level, how you ever gonna find out if you're gifted or not? So again, I don't even understand why. I mean, going back and forth on that topic, because if you have crappy genetics, whether you get on gear or not, you're still not gonna be able to achieve amazing fitness by the standard of Coach Greg, right? So why just not stay natural and avoid the cons that come with it? Again, I'm not against the responsible adult that make his due homework and figure out a way to safely, cruise on some juice. That's the difference. That's something that I'm not against of. But it's just hard not to be judgmental when you're not doing it. And again, I feel like Coach Greg is being spent way too long being enhanced, that he just has that bias. He has a skewed perspective of what the natural person wants because he wanted to be a bodybuilder. And everybody wants to be a professional bodybuilder. So
think that if they trained hard, they could bench 345. Let's take someone else, Editor Steve, Coach Greg's brother, you know, from the same parents as Coach Greg. I have the world record in the bench press. Pretty good genetics, I bet. How much can Editor Steve bench press natural? Let's see. His best bench press ever was 350 pounds. He was 180 pounds. So 5 pounds over the standard for elite. Steve would have some of the best genetics in the world to do the bench press. He bench pressed 243 pounds at age 14. I think those are shitty genetics, 243 pounds, age 14. He then trained his ass off and 11 years later could bench 350, 5 pounds over the elite standard, natural. But Alpha Destiny wants you to think, yeah, most people, if they just train hard and smart, yeah, they could achieve those numbers. Really? You have no idea of just how impressive a 345-pound bench is at 180 if you think most people can achieve that by training hard and smart. No, most people with steroids will not bench 345 at 180. Of course, there are plenty that do. I benched way more than that natural. Yeah, I have amazing, I have a world record. Most people don't have the world record. Not many people in the world are the best in the world. Then he looks at my chart of muscle growth. And he says, yeah, Coach Greg, I agree. That's a really good chart of accurate expectations for muscle. And he says, wouldn't you be satisfied? Most people will be satisfied with that. You see, there's a range. The best genetics, they do one thing and the average genetics do another. I think most people would be happy if they had the best genetics and put the most amount of muscle on that the people with the best genetics have, like me. They would be happy if they could make the gains that I did. Most people would be happy if they had Coach Greg's genetics. Do most people?
Yes and no. Because again, most people do want to look good, but I don't think most people want to be huge and be big like Coach Greg. Because again, somebody like me do not want to, and I feel like a lot of people will be like me too. Isn't it the false consensus effect that Coach Greg is suffering from? Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
Most people have Coach Greg's genetics. No, I think most people are happy if they had Will Tennyson's genetics. Jesse James, Jeff Nippard, Alpha Destiny, they would be happy if they had your genetics. But guess what? That is the cream of the crop. The best of the best come out, and they're the ones that get the followers. They're the ones that people watch on Instagram and YouTube.
But yes, wouldn't it be good to have some natural potential being flaunted to the world for the crowd to see and see what can be naturally achieved, and stop having a blown up expectation of what they can achieve, you know, by following some enhanced people that don't even have the decency to disclose the whole recipe of the of the business. So yeah, I mean, most people want to have those natural that you just cited, you know, potential, and you further you further the sentence by saying that even more people would like to have the genetics of Coach Greg. Natural, yes. Enhanced, if you need, I mean, I think the niche will be much fewer. it will be consist of a fewer, fewer people, because I don't think most people want to look like bodybuilder. So even if you were to stay natural, coach, and become as successful as you are, I'm sure people want to look like you, and they will have at least, something reasonable to expect, to attain. Even if they don't have the gene to reach that, at least they can work toward it. If they come halfway, they will just have to settle with it, as opposed to doubling your natural potential by being enhanced. And if they come halfway, they even way further down, and then they get desperate and wonder what they're doing wrong. So, but the good thing is, at least you disclosed everything, the truth about it, which sets you apart from the bigger crowd. And yeah, that's what we are facing with the fake naturals. You have this nonsensical debate about who is natural and who is not, about people who obviously are not natural, they're enhanced, but people still believe that they are natural. I couldn't care less. That's why I don't get into the debates and all these things, because to each his own. But again, sometimes I get sick of people coming and talking about specific people at work, at the gym, that they believe are natural, when the real deal is up there living around them. But even though I have an amazing physique, yes, coach, I think so, right? They just don't realize that this is something that actually, yeah, I can aim toward and gun up toward. They just want that, weird, that utopic physique, that people, like that those specific people don't have the shame, looking straight in the camera and telling, yeah, I am natural. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. I'm hungry. I need to eat. So let's finish this thing.
The 99.9% genetics, these people, you'd be happy with that. Most people will not look like Henry Cavill natural. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You're not just going to get these amazing results just because Alpha Destiny says you can. And just because I've used PDs doesn't mean I have some kind of behind the scenes motive to tell you any differently. I'm not trying to tell you I achieved my amazing physique and my pro card because of hard work. I'm telling you, it was a combination of everything. I was lucky to have great genetics, and I in fact trained my ass off intelligently. I studied this, masters in kinesiology, and later I took PDs on top of that.
Smarter than last time.
Did the proper cycles, did everything, and I got what I got. You should not expect to be able to achieve your dream physique natural just because he said so. The truth is, it's harder than you think, and achieving even half of what you expect is more likely what you're going to do.
Which is totally fine. Half of what you expect, just settle with it. Call your losses and move on. Is it that hard? No. But again, I don't think Alpha Destiny is being misleading, telling people to stay natural and train hard. And I'd rather, even if he did lie to them, tell them that they can achieve that naturally, Alpha Destiny physique naturally. At least it's coming from him telling the truth that he's been natural and has been able to achieve it. Train hard, you might just reach that level. Until you do train consistently and hard, you won't reach that level. So even if it was true that he unequivocally said so, it will still be respectable. It will still be saluted that he is encouraging people to just be consistent, as opposed to somebody who is enhanced and come and tell you to buy his supplement just to look like me. It's two incomparable things, right? Are we on the same page, at least from that perspective? So even if Alex did claim that everybody or most people will be able to reach that level of performance or physique, staying natural and consistent. That's something that's you know, what you call, that's to be encouraged, as opposed to somebody who is gonna come and tell you that provided that you take this supplement and do this and come up with some buffoonery or some circus class workout, ensuring you that you will be able to reach his physique, which is not true. So I don't know which one you think is a more honorable individual. I think the Alex way is the way. Mandalorian.
If you want to join the gym and gain 10 pounds of muscle this year and put on 100 pounds in your bench press, chances are even half of that is going to be hard to do. Have realistic expectations. I'm not here to glorify steroids and PEDs. I'm in fact telling you, they probably won't work as well as you think. You think they're going to give you your dream physique. You think that the top level athletes downplay their effects and benefits. You think the top level athletes who are using them downplay how good they are. No, I could have done this without it. They're just the icing on the cake. I'm telling you that genetics plays such a huge component, even more so than the PEDs themselves. And by that I mean, give me somebody with amazing genetics, natural, and they will beat somebody with crappy genetics, taking every single PD on the planet. The best bodybuilders on the planet, if you took all the PDs away, they would still look better than all the people blasting on everything in the world who have bad genetics. Sorry, telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And here.
I mean, yeah, obviously what you just said is obvious. I mean, nobody's done playing the power of genetics. Genetics is everything. Like I just said, behavior, personality, being smart, you know. It's not for a reason that specific people are able to achieve a high level of what you call of performance in specific field, right? And we have geniuses, and we have people with just minimal IQ, and we have people that are retarded. I mean, again, it's a word that I guess we're not using anymore, but that's beside the point. It's all with due respect, you know. I mean, we're all different. Genetics play a big role, and so I mean, and yeah, it is to be applied with sport too. We have sport geniuses. Those are the ones with the talent. They're able to achieve elite performance. They are physical geniuses, and the same way we have intellectual geniuses, we have physical geniuses. It's just the way it is, man. We are born with our talent, and we just have to accept it. Hard work is good, but you can't be hard work. I mean, you can't beat talent when it works. I mean, talent is working hard, you know. So it's I don't think it's anything new, nothing new under the sun, Coach. And I know you do know that. We know that, but I think we kind of missing each other a little bit on the whole point of promoting staying natural. You know, I know you made a decision a while ago, and you're pretty happy with it. You're pretty transparent. You're responsible about it. But I would think you would tell people to stay like literally natural, unless they already made the decision. I mean, they already made the choice and they're no longer natural. So maybe those people, I guess you're just giving them, you know, advice. Because if you really don't have any medical issue, I don't really see the point of getting on something. It shouldn't be getting on anything. Because again, I may be living in my bubble, victim of the false consensus effect. Well, that's not a false consensus. It is a normal consensus. I mean, it is a normal consensus, a common sense consensus that you want to be able to be stranded in the wild for few weeks to few months and still be able to survive, right? Without feeling shitty or without even dying, without having to need some shot of testosterone to be able to survive. So it's just like insulin. If you have a fully functioning what you call liver and bowel, I don't know why you would want to get some insulin. Maybe just to be a professional bodybuilder and stuff like that. Those are risks, I guess, you take. You have to weigh the pros and cons. Why people make that decision? Because they're passionate about the bodybuilding thing. I mean, who am I to judge? But I just feel like it's not really worth it. You know, we only have one body, and if you do make that choice, make sure that you're able to live with the consequences, no regrets, and you will not be asking for sympathy when you're in trouble, have trouble. You know, obviously you're gonna get sympathy, but like I said, it's just playing Russian roulette. I'll decide to live my life and do the best I can, so that when it's time for when my demise come, at least I've done my best to limit all, you know, the harm, all the possibility of harm that can come my way. That's just my philosophy. Not everybody is the same, so it is what I think. Like, I aspire to be living like a monk, for example, being secluded on top of a mountain or in a cabin, be able to stay away from people for the longest, you know, and meditate out there, and not really need to have like a whole case of, you know, testosterone bottles that I'm gonna need to keep a big ration for, you know. It's just too much headache, man. I mean, maybe because I'm not acquainted to the procedures, and maybe it's not as how would I say, it's not as uncomfortable or inconvenient as I think it is. Maybe that's why I'm thinking like that. Maybe it's a quick thing, you know, you don't even think about it and you don't worry about it, or you don't forget about your shots and feel shitty. So maybe that's why I'm thinking that way. But for me, going out of my way to have that procedure when my testicles can just bless me with that on a daily basis, I feel like that's the better choice. And again, to each his own, man. So all that to say, equating staying natural to staying enhanced is definitely nonsense. You can't equate that, man. With all due respect, Mr. Greg, you will want to stay natural, which more people than the few that are enhanced are natural, right? So yeah, I would just say, and natural is overused too. Like, not everything that's natural is good for us. We have a lot of deadly plants out there that are natural, so yeah, it has to be taken with a grain of salt, you know. Synthetic stuff can enhance our lifestyle and everything, so it is a blurry line pretty much, you know. We've come to understand that, yeah, we do need science, and science have helped us prolong our lives and all these things, but for this specific case of just building muscle for aesthetic and all this weird, to be able to reach that amazing thing, just for that, jeopardizing your testicles and your abilities to produce and be free, I don't think it's worth it, man. No, it's not worth it.
What you want to hear. Ended it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. Blue Pin Up 2 videos. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Buy my freaking training book and my cookbook. Maybe it gets you halfway to your dream physique. Gonna tell you the truth, halfway. And until next time, I'm out.
Yeah, so we come to an end, and finally, yeah, so I would say Alex, I still stand by Alex, and obviously Natural for Life, the Legion of Naturals of YouTube. And yeah, all natural. I'm not planning to get on anything. And again, like, maybe if there was 100% chance that if you get on something and you revert, you will still maintain, or you will not risk the ability to shrink your testicles. By shrinking, mean the ability to not to produce testosterone naturally. Yeah, yeah, if you were not to shut the production of testosterone forever and be on TRT, if it wasn't for that, if I had to guarantee that I have 100% of chance to restore my natural function after, no matter how long of a cycle I get on, or even after a small cycle, a long cycle, because even for what I know, even the small cycle can shut down your stuff. You just don't know. I mean, chances are low, but it's still there, right? So let's say for the longest cycle, even if I stay on it for 10 years, if I had a guarantee that when I stop, my body will stop producing again and I get back to normal, maybe there will be a 1% chance that I would entertain that, and I will remain on 99% chance that I will stay natural for life. But based on the fact that it's not possible, it's 100. I mean, the possibility of like the 1% chance is to revert to I mean, the fact that like there's always 1% chance that I will not be able to produce my natural testosterone, and how to revisit all that task of taking stuff every week and all this thing. Nah, I don't think it's an option for me. And if I was to get sick and need that, that's another story. But for the sake of building muscle, or be able to squat 800 pound or deadlift 900 pound, I don't think I will ever do that. I mean, it's not that important. There's more to it, to life. There's more to life than just all that fitness crazy shit, even though that's my job. So that's that. Coach Greg, I'm waiting for you to earn my spot in one of your videos. I need some clouds, and yeah, you have some amazing people out there with amazing genetics, with amazing work ethic, giving amazing information, but they're just not lucky like me. So I'm counting on you to make a video on the Meckanimal. Alright, peace. Stay natural, guys. And if you're already enhanced, be careful. Salute.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live.